Hello, welcome to today's painting art class. My name is Charlotte, and the first thing that we are going to do is look at this painting that we're going to paint. And it's a little kitten, and it's got the yellow background, and it's an orange cat. He has a little blue t-shirt he's wearing, and then he's holding a little bit of a little heart. So we're going to get all these supplies ready. Today I'm using just a piece of cardstock paper or watercolor paper, and I'm using it from this book, and you could pick that up at any art supply store or even big box stores, or you could just use just a heavier paper if you have that on hand. And I have these three brushes. One is like a medium size, and then one is a smaller, and then this one, not quite a detail brush, but it is smaller and thinner for little areas to help you out a little bit more. But whatever you have, if you just have this size or if you just have one this size, that's fine too. It might just take you longer to paint bigger areas, and that's fine. Whatever works or whatever you have on hand is fine. I'm gonna need a pencil, maybe with an eraser to draw out our kitten. And then lastly, you're just gonna need a permanent marker, just any black marker. This one has a skinnier tip because we are gonna be outlining the cat once we're done. So make sure you have a marker for that. And then I have some water to clean out our brushes, some paper towel, of course, to dry off our brushes. And I think that is it. Oh, and of course, how could I forget our paint? We have orange for the cat, and then we are gonna make a lighter blue with this. This is all I had on hand, so I'm gonna show you how to mix a lighter blue, red for the heart, and then yellow for the little background marks here. And I think that's all we need. Oh, and then we're gonna mix red and white for the little pink details here. Okay, and that is it. So for now, gather up all your supplies, and then we will get started. Okay, so first I'm looking at his head, and it's kind of about a little bit bigger than my fist. And we're gonna start about there on the top portion of the paper. And if this will help you, because it's not too round, but sometimes this helps me draw a little bit. I do a little bit of a curve on each area, and then see how that helps a little bit? So I did a little bit of a curve on the top, a little bit on the bottom, one on this side and one on this side, and then I kind of connected them. And of course you can make it straighter or help it out a little bit. Just a little sketch. And maybe we can erase this part, but ultimately you're gonna paint over it anyway. So, you know, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. And then once we're done painting, we're even gonna outline it with a marker. So again, we'll be able to straighten it up a little bit as we go. So next we have the head, and now we're gonna do the ears. And they have kind of a point to them. They're a little bit round, but they also have a point. So I'm gonna start on the right side. I'm gonna make his point go to about here, and then the other point about here. So if you notice that, it kind of not quite lines up, but it's kind of almost to the edges of his face. So I'm gonna go like this and go down from here. And on this side, I'm gonna go down from here. And then I'm gonna go over like this. And then I'm gonna go over like that. And make this one a little bit taller. And see, I make mistakes all the time, as you can see. And that's what I love about having the eraser. Okay. So there we go, there's his little ears. And now we're gonna do his body. This is probably gonna be the hardest part. So we're gonna come down from his little chin area, and I'm just mapping out little lines for myself to see. And I'm gonna go down, and I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna go down, and then I'm gonna go in like where his little elbows would be. Kind of push them in a little more. And then for right now, I'm just gonna leave his arms there. I'm not gonna go any further with those. And then I'm gonna continue going down here and make his shirt and body. Okay. And then I'm gonna try to do a little line across to like where his shirt would be, like that. I'm gonna do that lightly, just in case I have to, you know, straighten that up or do whatever later, make more room for my heart later. It's always like, you never know like how big the heart's gonna come out, so we'll play with that a little bit. And now this, I think what I'm gonna do to make it easier for everybody is just do like a, kind of like a round bottom, basically. Almost like he's one of those little, like, I don't know what they're called. They're like blown up and they kind of teeter-totter back and forth. So this is the bottom, and now I did it lightly on purpose because I want to see where I'm gonna put his feet. All right, I'm gonna come out and kind of make like a half oval, and then I'm gonna come out from this side and make a half oval too. There, how's that look? Okay, so now that we got his feet in place, I'm gonna go back and erase these little lines because we don't need those there, because now his feet exist. Okay, and now let's go ahead and get this tail done too. I'm just gonna go up and then curve it out. Ooh, and go around and draw as light as you want in case you have to, you know, fix it up or erase or do whatever you gotta do. And of course you could pause this at any time if you can't keep up. That's totally fine. Okay, and now I'm gonna go back to his arms. I'm going to come out just probably like a half an inch, I guess, from the bottom of, this is like his elbow. I'm gonna come out. And then I always like to do a little bit on each side to make sure I'm keeping it even, because I feel like if I completely do one side and then I go over to the other side, it's like one side's always skinnier or something's always a little off. So now I'm gonna curve around and make his little paws on both sides. And there's that. And then I don't really have to do too much more with the t-shirt because I'm gonna add in the heart now. So I'm gonna start over on this left side and curve in for making a heart. And then go up again and curve. And then I'm gonna come back through the bottom because you're not gonna see the whole heart because his paws are on it. I'm gonna try to, because remember this point has to match up with this part. And then go back up. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then I have these little paw marks, those little toe marks, but ultimately we're gonna paint over that, so it'll probably get lost in the paint, but you know what? I always feel like I need to add them anyway, and that's fine if you feel that way too. Okay, and now I realize that I didn't do the inside of the ear, so I'm gonna go back that and do the same exact shape, but just smaller, so it looks like the inside of the ear. If that makes sense. Up to the top, and then down. And then on the other side, up to the top, and then down. Okay. And now his little eyes are just like little squinty eyes. And you do one here and one here. And like I said, it's probably gonna get painted over, but that's okay. Just so we know where everything goes and that we have room for it. And then the nose is just a little curved line in between the eyes. And then connect it down like a triangle on the bottom. And then the mouth is just one swoop down in the middle and then up to smile. And then one swoop down and up to smile on this side. And then the whiskers, which these will be painted over, and we'll add them back in with marker too. 1, 2, 3 on each side. And I think that is it. We could do like a little arm here, which I meant to do in the other one and I forgot. And I think that's it. Oh, got to fix that bottom before. Okay, and there you have our drawing. Okay, in the next video we're gonna start painting. Okay, so now in this video we're gonna start painting, and I see some lines that I forgot to erase. But that's okay because, like I said, we're gonna paint over it, so, you know, it'll get lost in all the paint and stuff. So don't go, you know, too crazy with that. So I think what we'll do is we'll paint the orange part first. So I'm gonna wet all my brushes. I don't know if you're using 1 brush or 2 brush or 3 brushes like I'm doing, but go ahead and wet them in your little bucket of water here and dry them. Just because a lot of times the brushes will be sitting, if you're like me, you know, some of them I don't get to use all of them because I have a lot of them, and sometimes they get kind of hard and crusty just from sitting around for a while. So I just like to go ahead and soften them up in the water and then just, you know, tap them dry on the paper towel. So I'm actually going to use the smaller one, I think, just because to show you what I like to do. I like to go ahead and outline when I'm painting, just because I feel like it's easier, you know, you outline what object you're working on painting, and then you can go crazy and just fill in the inside of what you're painting. You know what I mean? Instead of just, you know, going all over like this first and then going to the edges. It's kind of like coloring with crayons. Like, you know, when you're really little, one of the first things you're taught is to stay in the lines, stay in the lines. So it's kind of like that. Like, it just helps you stay in the lines a little bit. You're just outlining your shapes. And then that way you can just, it's like you're getting to the dessert of getting to go crazy and just fill it in how you want. And the only thing that we really have to avoid on the face is the little tiny nose, because that we're gonna make pink. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is outline the nose too. Does that make sense? Just gonna outline him. See that? He looks a little bit silly. He kind of looks like a pumpkin right now. But you know what? Now we get to go crazy, kind of, within reason, of course, and just go ahead and paint the whole head. See that? Look at that. It's real quick. You don't have to be quite as careful as when you're outlining. The outlining is like your dessert, not your dessert, but your dinner. You gotta take your time and eat that. And sometimes you don't always love everything that mom makes, if you're like my kids. But then you get to what I call the dessert and just go crazy and enjoy it and have fun. Okay, so now we're gonna try it with the ears too. And if you remember, the ears too have pink in the middle. So I'm gonna outline them. And here's where the smaller brush comes in handy, because like this orange area isn't that big really. So, and you know what, if you go over it by accident where the pink's supposed to be or just the background's supposed to be, it's okay, you know? Paint, that's the fun thing about paint. You can go over it again, and again and again and again. I tell my kids that all the time. I have 4 kids, ages 3 to 11, and you know, they like to paint with me a lot. And I just, you know, sometimes I get frustrated if something doesn't come out right or they mess up, and I'm like, you know what, I mess up all the time. You guys saw me mess up, you know, drawing this. So, you know, you could just do it again, of course. You could start over from scratch, but you could just paint over it too. So just try to keep that in mind and have fun. So now I'm gonna go down to his little paws here and again outline them. See that? See the ears? We didn't get to do too much filling in because they were pretty thin, but here we could do an outline and then fill it in. I'm gonna go over here and just get this one done too. And then we could fill it in. Oop, I didn't get to, I started filling in before I outlined, I forgot. There we go. See that? Isn't that cute? Let's fill this in. Isn't that easier? I just love it. And now he's got a big, huge, fluffy tail. Look at that. Do you love cats? I love cats, and I don't have one right now. We have a dog. We have a Yorkie who is 13 years old. We did have a cat named Sweets, whom I loved, I adored. She was almost 16 when she passed away. So right now we just have a doggie, but someday I might get another cat. But I've always loved cats. I don't know. I guess sometimes some people are born cat people and some people are born dog people. I love dogs too, but cats are just probably my favorite. What do you like better? Do you like cats or dogs? Let's see. Let's get this one cleaned in. Okay, and we'll take care of it for the orange part. Nope, it's not it for the orange part. We gotta do the bottom. I'm gonna outline here, because remember the t-shirt is gonna be blue. Okay, there's outlining. Okay. There's little feet in too. Can't forget those. Okay, almost done outlining. And of course I'm going faster than you might be able to go, and that's okay. You can pause anytime or stop or take a break, because it might feel like a lot to paint for you. I'm used to painting all the time, so I could do this pretty quickly, but I don't want you to feel rushed. Okay. Let's see. So we're almost done here, and then we can move on to another color. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop this for now, and then we'll come back and do the other colors. Okay, so we're back, and make sure, I forgot to say this, make sure you clean out your brushes when you're done in your water. And sometimes this orange really didn't want to come out, so I had to keep dabbing it, dabbing it, dabbing it. But now I'm gonna use this smaller, it's like a flat brush, and I'm gonna use this on the background here. So I'm just gonna grab my yellow and load it up with some paint on both sides. Like that, not too crazy. And I always like to dab it back on the plate too, just so it's not too goopy. And all that we're gonna do for the background, instead of, I like to do some different things for the background instead of just painting the whole background one color sometimes. Then this just, you know, will give it some interest and texture and look really cool. So all I'm gonna do is lines down. You can do 2 lines or 3 lines and then a couple lines across. It's kind of like, if you know about hashtags, it's kind of like that, but a little bit different, or a pound sign if you're my age. So we're just, again, we're gonna do some over here, and you could do it, see how I did it like at a diagonal? You could do that and just do 2. You could do 2, 2. And then I'm just kind of going all over the page, and it doesn't have to be perfect at all. It's just for, you know, just something cool and different. And some I'm doing really big, and some I'm doing little small ones. Okay, so here and there and everywhere. And again, it's just to make some interest in the background and give it some color, and you know, it's just for fun, and I just really like the way it looks. So I'm gonna just keep doing it. And in some areas, I notice, if you notice, it's a little bit more dry looking, and I kind of like that. Like, I don't want it to be, you know, caked on and goopy. I just want it to be, you know, just like easy and light in some spots and darker in some. And you'll notice some I'm just doing like a little line here and there and just maybe 1 line across just to fill in. And down here, I know down here it probably is a little bit harder because, you know, the cat didn't leave us too much room, did he? So kind of just play along with it. Just kind of go a couple down, maybe 1 across or whatever. Or some dots even, or just some plain lines. Just here and there. And of course, if you don't want to do this, you could just paint the whole thing yellow or whatever color you want, really. Or you could leave it white. So that's totally up to you. That's the best thing about art, is that it's whatever you feel and whatever you think looks good or what you feel like doing that day. And that's what I love about art. You know, when I'm teaching classes or just doing art at home with my kids, we could all be doing the same exact subject with the same exact colors, and everybody looks a little bit different because everybody has their own interpretation. And I love that. It's always so fun to see, wow, look what you did. Wow, yours came out like that. Yours looks different than mine. Like, we always know, you know, oh, that one's this one person's and that one's this one's, because all of ours have a little bit of a different flair to it. So I think that's about full for now. Let's see. Just kind of going in and going around closer to him because it's hard to get too close. So just trying to be careful not to get it on his t-shirt and stuff. So, but again, you know, if I did, I could just go over it with paint again. So I think that looks pretty good. I think that's it for that. And I'm gonna remember to rinse off my brush this time. I just dab it back and forth and see if it's all come out. And then I just give it a dip and see, you can still see a lot of yellow in there. So just make sure to go back and forth. And pressing it on the paper towel does help a lot because it seems to get, it loads it all the way to the tippy top and it kind of just wants to hang out in there and not come out. So remember that you're cleaning your brushes good so they'll last a lot longer. Like that. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And then when I'm done with this, I'll probably let them soak for a couple minutes too, so that'll help. Okay, that's it for this video. Join me in the next video. Okay, now I think we are going to do the t-shirt. How does that sound? So I didn't have a light blue on hand, so I'm just gonna make it. And I'm taking my smaller brush again here, and I'm grabbing a bunch of white, and I'm gonna plop it down in the middle here. See that? And then I'm just gonna grab like a little bit of the blue and just start swishing it around. Probably don't need too much because it's just for his t-shirt, so that'll probably be good. I'm just dabbing it around. Okay, let's see. That looks pretty good. So now again, I'm just gonna start outlining his little shirt. And let's see, I'm gonna go down to his arm. And I think what I forgot to do in my last one, these little arm lines, I think I totally forgot to put them back in when I was, you know, doing my heavy black lines with the marker afterwards. So hopefully this time I will remember to do that. And this color blue looks a little bit different than this one, and that's probably just the way I mixed it. And if you notice that this orange looks lighter than this one, that must have been because I used a different orange that I had on hand, because I do have a lot of paint. So sometimes I just grab different colors and I don't realize it. So I apologize for that. And now I'm gonna just try to carefully go around this little heart top here. And if I, you know, get a little bit in the heart, that's okay, because then we're gonna go over it with red anyway, and red's pretty bright and dark color, which is nice. It's good for covering things like that. So just a little bit more. Try to be careful. And this isn't the smallest brush in the world, so it's kind of hard. Get this little edge. Okay, and I'm just gonna smooth this out because the smoother it is, the quicker it'll dry. Acrylic paint does dry pretty quick anyway, which is nice. So that's what I really like about it. In some ways that's good because, you know, if you're impatient like me, I like things to dry quickly. But on the other hand, if I still want to like mix some colors, then I'm like, oh no, now it's already dry. So, you know, it has its good points and harder points too. So, like everything. So I'm just trying to be careful going around this heart and then his little arm and then up to his tail. And like I said, the marker is going to be in between here too. So if you don't get it right up close to his tail or his arms or the heart, don't worry about it. Because like I said, we're going to go over it with marker. So that'll kind of catch anything that we don't get too close to. So don't worry too much about that. Okay, almost done with that. Let's see if I can straighten out my line. I made it kind of wavy, didn't I? Okay, that looks pretty good. I think I'm pretty happy with that. So that's all we need for the blue. And I'm gonna, again, kind of flatten this out a little bit so that it can dry quicker. And again, I'm gonna make sure I clean up my brush. Okay, I'll meet you at the next video. Okay, so we're back, and now we are going to do just a little bit of work here, just his nose and his little ear insides. So I'm gonna make the pink. I'm gonna grab some white again, just a little bit. We don't need much for that because it's not much to do. Just a little bit of red. Might have grabbed too much, let's see. I'll grab a little more white. I really poured a lot of white, didn't I? I didn't need all that. And I have my smallest brush that I'm working with today, and if you want an even smaller brush, it might be a good idea because his nose is so tiny. So I'm gonna kind of Just try to do the shape of it quickly. There's not much outlining there. Now it looks a little too light, so I might go back and add a little more red. I can't seem to get this right, can I? But again, you could just keep playing with it. Or if you have pink on hand at your house, you can just do that. I have some pinks, but I always seem to have like brighter pinks. This is almost like I'm making like a ballet slipper pink, they call it. So we're trying to. I want to be able to see it. I don't want it to look white, but I don't want it to look red either. I think that's pretty good. Okay, we'll keep that. Okay, so now I'm going to do the inside of the ears. And there's not a lot of room, as you can see, to outline, so I'm just going for it. I'm just trying to do my best to stay in that little triangle. Just take your time. It's not a race. It's no rush. Just get up to that point, pull it down a little bit, and then over like that. And see, I went over into the orange. Try not to, but it's not easy. Okay, how's that look? Does that look pretty good? And then the only thing left to do is the red heart. So we'll do that right when we come back. I'm gonna rinse this off. Okay, it's time to do the big pretty heart. I'm gonna smooth my brush out as much as possible and dip it in the red so I can kind of try to outline this. Ooh. And again, we're going to outline it with the marker, so don't worry. Okay, I'm going to go around his little paws, his cute little paws. Here we go. I'm like, I don't want to put a lot of paint on here because I don't want to be like glopping it all over, but then I keep running out. But that's okay, just keep grabbing more. Go down to the point. Take your time on the heart. Don't rush. Just hold this little heart in his hands. Maybe it's for Valentine's Day, maybe it's for a birthday. I don't know why he's holding the heart, but I just thought it'd be cute. Valentine's Day is coming up while I'm recording this, but I just thought it'd be cute for him to hold something. It could be like a box, you know, the box of heart chocolates like people get at Valentine's. It could be that. It could be a stuffed animal heart. You can come up with any idea that you want. I love this red. It's just like such a true, pretty red, like a fire engine red. Love that. Okay, now at my dessert part, I'm just filling it all in. You know, that's my favorite part. Okay. There we go. All right, I love that. It looks so pretty. I'm gonna clean that off really good. And then what we're gonna do is make sure that everything's dry. I think really, like, the pink dried really quickly. The heart is just gonna take just a couple minutes to dry. So we're gonna let that dry, come back, and then we get to do our marker work. See you then. Okay, we're back, and my heart is about 75% dry. I'm gonna let that settle and dry, but I wanted to get started on some of the ears and the face part while we were waiting for that. And I just have a permanent marker. You can use a Sharpie. This I think I probably got from the dollar store, oddly enough, and these work actually pretty well. And I like that this one's a little bit thicker than a regular Sharpie. It still has a point, but it's a little bit thicker. So you might be able to use some markers that you have on hand, but some of them are kind of really too thick. So just play around and see what you have, maybe test it out on extra paper or on your paper towel, and just see how thick it is before you start, because you don't want it to be too thick, because then it'll be kind of hard to outline. So I'm gonna start with the ears, I guess, and I'm just gonna go around. See that? It's got a nice, you know, not too thick, not too thin line. I really love that. And I love outlining stuff because it really makes the whole picture pop. I'm going on the inside of the ear and now just towards the face. It looks really cute. And you can of course do this with black paint and then a really tiny detail brush, but I always find it can be very hard and very frustrated, even for me, somebody that's been painting for quite a while. So it's just nice. And you can even find paint markers too if you want it to all be paint and no marker involved. But I really like this too. So I'm gonna continue with the face. And I'm just doing little chunks at a time. See that? I just went from the bottom of the ear down to the shirt. It doesn't have, you don't have to do like the whole oval at once. And if you want to turn your page so it's easier to work on, by all means do that too. Whatever it can help you, you can do. There's no rules. I'm gonna do this part since I have it upside down. I'm gonna do the ear upside down, because why not? Because then it's easier to kind of draw it into a point, isn't it? And I'm gonna do this part. Okay. I'm gonna continue, and I'm gonna do from the shirt up the cheek. And there we go. Cute. I'm trying to avoid the part that's still a little bit wet. I'm gonna go ahead and do the eyes. I'm gonna start in the corner and go out. And this side I'm gonna start in the other corner and go in. That's so cute. Make them a little thicker. And now I'm gonna outline the nose. I'm gonna curve the top a little bit and then just bring it down to a triangle. Isn't that so cute? And now I'm gonna do the mouth. I'm gonna go down and curve it up. And because the middle part's pretty much already done, I'm just gonna curve this side back in, and I don't really have to go up the middle again. I'm gonna go ahead and finish his face. Whoops, went over a little bit, see? Right, we all mess up. Now I'm gonna do the whiskers. I'm gonna start here and go out. Start there and go out. Start there and go out. And it looks like my marker is getting a little tired here. I'm gonna go over that a little bit. Might have to find a new marker. That's why I like to always pick these up when I see them, because I swear they just dry out so quickly. I'm gonna turn this again. Like I said, you could turn it any way. That'll help you, like that. I feel like on one side I always tend to make them longer. I don't know why. It's funny how on one side you do one thing and on another side you tend to do something else. I guess because I'm a righty, so I'm used to doing more things over here. So I'm like, woo, making them really long on this side. I'm like, real short. But hey, that's just the way we are. Now I'm gonna do this shirt and his paw. I'm gonna be careful by this part. And then what did I say that I forgot? Last time I forgot to do like, to show that he had like a little t-shirt on. I had drawn it earlier, but then it kind of got covered and I forgot. And I'm gonna go here, be careful on my heart. Okay. And then like that to show the little t-shirt. It's a simple little line. It makes such a big difference. See, I forgot to do it over here. Now I can go back and add that, of course, but I just wanted to show you the difference. And do those little paw marks. And do the rest of the shirt. Do his arm on this side. I really like just doing it in little chunks because then it doesn't feel like I gotta be so perfect. Like if I just kept outlining and holding my arm down the whole time, I just feel like too much. Like I'm worried about if I'm gonna go off the lines. But if you just take it in little chunks at a time, then it doesn't feel so bad. So you can stop there and go around the toes. Do that. So don't feel like you have to do too much at once, because it can be hard to outline things no matter what age you are. So I'm gonna just do a little bit over here. And then do some over here. I think I might have to find a different marker. I think this one is getting tired. So let's see what else we got. I have a whole bag of markers because I just keep collecting them. Because sometimes they just need to have the cap on and sit. You know, like it's just, they need to rest. They can't keep working and working. It's too much, just like people. Okay, I'm gonna do this part. Going around the tail. And you know what? If this is too much, you could always take a break and do it later, or you could do it tomorrow, or whatever you want to do. There's nothing saying that you have to finish everything. Well, now this marker is almost doing worse. I don't know about that one. See that? Now that one had a chance to rest for a minute and now it's doing pretty good. I love that. I just needed a little rest. You gotta make sure you keep your caps on tight. Like sometimes we think we have the caps on, and then when I go to use it again, I'm like, oh no, that wasn't really clicked on all the way. And I'm like, uh-oh, it's gonna be dry, and it will be. So you gotta be really careful. Make sure you hear that click when you're shutting your markers. Okay, and what else do I need to do? Oh, this part. So the paw marks and go around. Okay, and his little toes here. Okay, is that it? Did I miss anything? Sometimes it's just so easy to miss something. You're just like, you don't see it. Okay, I think that's it. Oh, I didn't outline the heart. Hello. See? I told you I was gonna miss something. Sometimes I already have everything put away and then I'm like, whoa, I totally missed that. And you know what I did totally forget? Now that I'm done with my marker, I realized that I didn't do, where's my little brush? Here it is. I didn't do, wow, my brush is still really red. I didn't clean it out very good. On the heart, I did these little shiny lines with the white paint. And see, totally forgot to do that. It's like, it's so easy to miss stuff. And I even have the painting right next to me. Imagine if I didn't have it next to me, I would never remember everything. So I literally just got a little tiny dab on my smallest brush, and I'm just gonna do a little shiny on top, and then just do a little one on the bottom. And that makes it look shiny. Isn't that so cute? I just love that. I love adding shiny things to my paintings. I just love how it pops, and it makes it look like real and just fun and cute. I love that. So here's our painting. I hope you love it. I had such a fun time with you. It was really a great time. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will hope that you will join me for another video at another time. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.